Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Follow the Rules. Years ago, I worked for a US chain of supermarkets. I spent years there and worked a number of positions, but this story has to do with me being a buggy boy long before 2020. This store was notorious for understaffing. A 24-hour supercenter serving over 20 communities, and the store ran with about 300 people on the payroll when it needed 500 plus. I was one of 4 cart pushers on payroll to cover the parking lot 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It wasn't pretty. How did we manage? Simple, we cut corners. The safety rules required that we use a ratcheting safety strap anytime we push more than 3 carts, plus no more than 10 at a time by hand or 20 in a trip with the remote pusher. We ignored that. We didn't use the straps, and my personal record was I think 46 without assistance. But that was late night cleanup and a lot empty of cars. Anyway, once in a while, management would catch the safety rules are absolute bug and breathe down our necks about it, and I got fed up with it. I was the only cart pusher on schedule for about 8 hours and was told when I came in that I was expected to follow all the rules to a T. So I got my strap and got to work. I did actually try. I took pride in my work, but I couldn't keep up with the demand. By the time the store quieted down around 10 PM, when night shift came in, I was due to leave at 11 and the lot was still a mess. So I tracked down the night shift manager, since mine was long gone. I'm supposed to leave at 11. Do you want me to leave at 11 or when the lot is clear? When the lot is clear. He wasn't being a jerk, and I liked the guy. My malice was directed at the day shift managers. I went back to report that the lot was clean at about 3 AM. He told me he thought I had left hours ago, as I usually left with a clean parking lot and within about 10 minutes of my scheduled time. I just shrugged and said matter-of-factly, that's how long it takes to do it the right way. Again, I wasn't trying to be a jerk to him, but the store didn't like giving overtime or hours beyond what was scheduled, and I knew he would tell them about it. I didn't hear a single word about the safety rules for months afterward, and the managers looked sheepish when they saw me. The next story is called Break Compliance. I started my first full-time job while home from school on summer break. During my second week on the job, the guy training me came up to me and told me multiple co-workers had complained to him I was taking my breaks way longer than I was supposed to be. At first I was confused by what he was talking about. I thought maybe people had gotten me confused with another new employee. But after a couple of minutes I realized what was going on. The job was in a large warehouse, meaning it could take up to 5 minutes to walk to places like the break room or one of the bathrooms. Because of this, I would always try to use the bathroom right before my break, since there was a bathroom right there and I wasn't interrupting my work. I would speed run the bathroom and start my break about 2 minutes late. Most workers also stayed a few minutes past the end of the break, myself included. These two things meant that even though I took the same length of break as most of the other employees, it looked like I was staying about 5 minutes past my break. Don't like that? Okay. Well, around the same time, I learned they don't care when or how long you take your bathroom breaks. You can just go whenever. So, after I got the complaints, I stopped taking the quick 2-minute bathroom pit stops before my breaks. Instead, I stop in the middle of what I've been working on, walk 5 minutes to the bathroom, take a relaxing 10-minute bathroom break and walk 5 minutes back. Repeat this 3 times per shift, and I've gone from stealing 6 minutes of company time per shift to up to 60. The third story is called Bad Investor. My parents and their neighbor bought homes in an up-and-coming part of Florida 20 years ago. Talking a half-acre lots with 2,500 square foot homes for like $130,000. Our neighbor's home was a little smaller than my parents', with no pool. And over the 20 years, the only thing done to the house was a new roof. Nothing else had been changed. Everything was still the original. Appliances, paint, AC unit, cabinets, tile and carpet. I wish I could say she took care of it and never needed to change things, but that wasn't the case. Our neighbor's house looks 20 years old. She is a widow and the house is huge for just her, so she decided to sell and take advantage of the market. She listed it for $400,000. Despite her never having put a penny into it, the house goes on a bidding war, and the top bidder is an investor from California. She offers to pay $30,000 over asking, pay the closing costs and can do it the same day. The investor woman had 2 stipulations. Our neighbor takes the house off the market immediately. And she turns over the key to her management company, with the cash for the home held in escrow until the key was turned over and our neighbor's side of the paperwork was done. Our neighbor was upfront with this woman and the state of the home and asked if she wanted to have her management company come look at it first. The woman says, "No, I'm renting the house and it doesn't need to be painted. Just pull it off the market." This woman essentially bought the home for about $450,000 when it was all said and done. So our neighbor immediately goes to the management company office with her realtor, signs the paperwork, hands over the key and gets the check for the home. A few days later, our neighbor gets a call from the investor lady. She is irate. The house is in disarray. It needs a paint job ASAP. New appliances and flooring at the least. She demands that our neighbor paints the house. She won't take ownership of the home until that is done. To which our neighbor responds to her, "It's not my home anymore. It was signed over to you and the check was handed to me and cleared. That house is no longer my problem. Enjoy." This story all came about because yesterday my parents called our old neighbor. There was a for sale sign on the house again and we were confused. Our old neighbor promptly showed up and told us the story, and we are all laughing hysterically because the woman has it listed for $430,000. The last story is called Follow the Guide. In a former life in the previous century, I was a tour bus driver. It was a great job for a single person. Took me all over the US and into Canada several times. The tour companies often hire step-on guides to show a busload of strangers around a city or a national park or such like. The step-on is usually a local resident and knowledgeable about the area's history and attractions. Most are at least competent and some are remarkably good at the job. One day in a northern city we picked up a woman who didn't have much experience with bus tours. She had an odd personality and was a bit of a cold fish, but whatever. I didn't have to like her, I just had to work with her for an hour and a half. It soon became obvious she didn't know what she was doing. I had never been to that city before, had no idea what was on her agenda, even if I had known my way around, and she provided very little information to me. Obviously, doing an efficient job of directing the driver is key part of the job, but she told me she would let me know where to turn. As one might imagine, having a clue or two about where you are headed is very important for the safe operation of a bus. You don't just turn at a moment's notice, especially if you are on a multi-lane road. I had to interrupt her a few times to get directions, and she was getting testy about it. I had been doing the job for a while by then, and I was quite good at it. I got along great with most step-ons, and we worked seamlessly together. The really good ones will incorporate some of their directions to the driver into their narrative. Anyway, this guide got really mad at me the next time I asked her something, like which lane I needed to be in. She keyed the PA mic and said, "I'm sorry for the interruption, but your driver keeps asking me for directions." I keep telling him I'll let him know where he needs to take us, and on to more blather. Okay, I thought, we'll do it your way. Soon enough, the guide got into telling some story and we continued to motor on, obviously heading out of town on a major street that became a state highway or something. After a while she noticed where we were and got really flustered. She didn't know a good way to get turned around, and I offered no suggestions, just kept driving while she sorted it out. After that she started doing her job and we didn't have any more trouble. After we had dropped her off, the passengers and the regular tour guide told me how funny they thought the episode was, and we all had a good laugh. And with that we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and would like to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.